the kitchen again.
Right. What's on the menu for today?
Well, you know what a Cobb salad is supposed to
Right.
look like. I assume everybody knows what a Cobb salad looks like. I happen to pull out my old copy of Julia Child and More Company, and this is a picture that shows the lines, the way a Cobb salad classic is set up. So we're going to do kind of a take on that.
Okay.
Just an imaginative take and call it a summer shrimp salad.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
Yes, and I think it's going to be great. Now, to accompany that, I want to do the Krusty's cornbread in our Madeleine pan.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to let you do this.
All right.
I bought the Krusty's honey cornbread mix,
The best.
and it's just mixed up with an egg and a cup of milk. And then I have my handy dandy Madeleine pan,
Right.
and you're just going to spray that.
Okay.
And you're going to start baking these dudes.
Okay.
All
Got
right.
my assignment.
All right. That's your job for the moment.
Okay.
And
On my way.
and then just set that over there. And one other little job, Myra.
Oops.
I guess it's so nice to have a sous chef. One other little job for Myra today. We bought some of these beautiful white peaches, and they are ripe. And I've already done one of them, and Myra's going to continue and do some more of them, maybe 4 or 5 of them,
Okay.
Myra. And then she's going to peel them and put them in there. And what we're going to do is put just a hint of brown sugar and some of my really wonderful thick sweet balsamic and a little little pinches of mint. And we'll
That
serve
sounds
that
great.
for dessert. So you
Okay.
get started on those.
I'm on my way. Yeah.
And I'm going to get started preparing all the stuff for the salad. Now the first thing that we want to do here is get the corn on so the corn is all ready to go. So what I'm going to do is take the corn. I don't know if you've ever done this, but it's quite the simple thing. If you want to take your, first of all, you have to be sure that you have a nice flat surface. And then go right down like that. And you have to have a nice sharp knife and just cut your corn right off the cob like that. You don't want to do your corn for a long time. There. So you can see about how much of this nice corn I have here. Now here I'm going to start my wonderful large skillet, heavy skillet, and I'm going to put that on kind of medium high because I don't want to just saute it slowly. I do want to slightly brown it. So in there, I'm going to throw some butter, my favorite butter. We'll put a little chunk of butter in there and let that start getting ready to sizzle. And then we can put this in, and in the meanwhile, I'll show you what else I'm going to do here. This is going to be delicious. I think you'll love it. Okay, the other thing I want in here is some, I got tiny zucchini. And I'm just going to cut those in half. And then I'm going to do them on my mandolin so that I have very skinny slices. Now, these are not going to be cooked, of course. So you want the nice, tiny, beautiful little skinny dudes. And is that starting to start yet? Oh, almost. I want it to be all melty in there, and then we'll throw this corn in. All right, this is just going to go quickly. Get a couple of these done. And then I can finish up those while the other stuff. That's what that's going to look like. I'll finish those up in a minute. Set that out of the way a minute. And then I'm going to take 3 beautiful ripe tomatoes, and I'm going to slice those as well. Move this out of the way over here a little bit so I have room right here. Okay, so I'm here. This is that tomato slicer that I've mentioned to you many times. It's really a terrific tool. I believe that it was originally intended to be a slicer for cheese, but it sure does a super elegant job on tomato. So I'm going to cut this, and the way this is coming along nicely now. Okay, I'm going to throw this in. You can hear it's nice and hot now. Okay. Now I want a little salt and a little pepper in there. Oops, wrong one, that sugar. Won't hurt. Won't hurt. That'll be delicious. I always put a little sugar in corn anyway. A little salt and a little bit of pepper. Okay, that's good. All right, now. And let me get up in there. Here we are. Okay, now let's see how this looks. Is that hot enough? So it's gonna, yeah, that's gonna be perfect. Okay, we're gonna have a nice buttery taste to this corn. And I'm gonna keep an eye on that so it doesn't burn, but starts to get a little bit scorched. Not scorched, brown, just tiny. Okay, now what I want is this to be just little pieces like this. Something that I can deal with easily. And I decided not to get rid of the seeds, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to let this juice accumulate in the bottom of this bowl, and I'm going to add that later to our dressing. There we are, and I'm going to put salt and pepper. Didn't I get out my pepper grinder? I guess I didn't. So we'll be forced to use this. We never need worry. We can always find a way to improvise. There we go. A little salt and pepper in those. Here's one. I want to get it a little smaller. And in there, I'm going to put a little sugar now. A little bit of sugar. I always put a little sugar in tomatoes as well as in corn. When I'm cooking corn in the corn water, I always put some sugar. I do the same thing in green beans, peas. Helps to keep the nice color. Now, as this sits, as you can imagine, it will leak some of its juice to the bottom, and that juice I'm going to add when we're all finished to our dressing. So now, only thing we have to finish up here is these little, the rest of these, and then we're almost ready to begin our, how are you doing over there, Myra?
Just got a half a peach more to go.
Oh, good. Have we already got our stuff in the oven?
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Have you ever? Isn't she just the best? I mean, I'll tell you.
Lately it has been.
And normally it is. Okay. Now,
Okay, these are done.
those are all ready? Oh, good. Why don't you bring those over a minute, Myra? Let's add the stuff. I'd like them to macerate a little bit.
Here we go.
So, here we are. Okay, here are these. Will you give me a fork, if you please? This is brown sugar. And what I'm going to do is just, this is, by guess and by golly, just kind of decide. They're probably pretty sweet, aren't they?
They smell like they were.
We don't need too much brown sugar in there, you know?
Okay.
I don't think. And then what we're going to put in there is some of this. This is my balsamic that I make by cooking it down.
Oh, that's that good stuff.
Yeah, so we're going to put just a little of that in there.
Okay.
I don't want too much here, but I want enough to give it a little assertiveness. Myra, taste that. See if you think I ought to put more brown sugar in it. I don't know. It's going to have whipped cream too. It's enough, isn't it?
Very
okay, good. So you take that, set it up over there. I believe in the past you've heard of this because I used it many times, and it's called My Favorite Vinaigrette, and it is from the Silver Palette, original Silver Palette cookbook, not all the newer ones that they have. And this one starts with a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and as usual, I put this in a jar, as I always do, to emulsify. So I didn't have a small spoon. You can see I'm improvising. Yes. Anything that's at hand.
Right.
Takes that thing.
Thank you.
So we're going to throw that in there. And that, again, is my favorite, the Grey Poupon. And it's that country-style Dijon that has the nice little pieces of.
Ooh, the little
I love
good
that.
stuff.
I love that grainy stuff. It's so good. All right, and then in there, I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of just plain red wine vinegar. 4 tablespoons of wine vinegar. There we go. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, you're welcome.
Four tablespoons. It's almost down to the bottom of that one, huh? Okay, of red wine vinegar. We want a teaspoon of sugar. And this one is the sugar. Good.
Not the salt.
Yeah, I don't want to make that mistake. I believe I told you I was having somebody make cookies for an occasion here, and I had put out one thing of sugar and one thing of salt, and she made a whole thing of a whole thing of cookies with the salt.
Oh my God.
It was pretty awful. Now we want salt, half teaspoon each.
Okay.
Salt and pepper. Salt, kosher salt, of course, and some pepper. And a half a teaspoon of that, throw that in there. And then I cut some, went out here to the porch and I cut some
Ooh, chives.
chives. And I'm going to snip some chives into this because I think that'll be quite nice. So we'll throw that in there too, and then we'll put it in our olive oil. There we go. Just chip some, snip them in there. Chives are so great to have, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I always have them growing, and you know, I love to use the chive flowers when they're blooming because they contribute so much to a dish visually. That looks like enough.
I even take mine and freeze them.
And
So
freeze
that-
them. Oh, that's good. But then they no longer, if you're using them for garnish,
Oh,
don't
no,
they?
I didn't mean the flowers. I meant just the.
Oh, the chives
the
themselves.
chives
Oh,
themselves,
okay.
yeah. I chop them up and then freeze them
Oh,
and then I add
okay.
it.
All right, now I need a half, you know what? I don't think I wrote that on here. No, I didn't, but it's a half a thing. Oh dear,
That'll do.
it's a good thing I know. Okay, it's a half a cup of nice olive oil.
Olive oil.
So I'm gonna put a half a cup of nice olive oil in there. And
Don't you love those cups?
I love these. Aren't they the best? The ones
Yeah.
that you can look down here and you don't have to go. Okay,
Right.
here we go.
I have to get a bigger one. I have just a little one.
Okay, there. That can go. Remind me that I need to fix this recipe.
Okay.
All right, so now that's that, and I'm going to add, when I'm done here, I'm going to add all of that juice to this as well. Okay, now, I can get back to where I was, which was to start cutting this up and assemble these salads. Okay, so I find the easiest way to do it is I have my santoku, and I'm going to make it very thinly sliced. Very thin. So this is kind of, as you know, how the Chinese do when they're doing, in Chinese cooking, when they have the nice little iceberg lettuce.
And that's the knife they use.
It's cut just like this, yeah. So that it's nice and very, very thin. And I'm not nutty about iceberg lettuce, but I sure like it this way. Now, I'm gonna do 4 dishes.
Do you need this?
No, I don't. So, I think I'm gonna set them out and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna try to do like 4 mounds. And you want the mounds to look kind of oval shaped. Because it's an oval shaped dish, and the oval shape will give you a nice sense of a place for it to go. You know, for all that food to go on top of it. Okay, here. Okay, let's see how that is. That's pretty nice. There's one. I'm going to do 4 of those. Maybe I'll just do 2 today, and then I'll do more when we're done here, so that everybody can have some more. I'll do 2 of them, so it doesn't get too boring. Yeah. Huh? Aren't they nice? And then when you slide them out of here,
Hopefully they'll slide out.
gotta use something. I don't have my usual. Here. I hope you sprayed them good, did you?
I hope I did.
There it is. They should be little shells. Aren't they darling?
They're so
Oh,
cute.
adorable, aren't they? All right.
Oh, it's hot. Thanks.
Okay. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna just do 2 of these to start, and I'll show you how that's gonna look. All right. Now down the middle. So, and of course, when you're preparing a number of them, you want to set them all up in some area where you can just go right along and prepare. This is the way we do it in a professional kitchen. Now, I bought those little tiny wonderful bay shrimp that I like so much, and I clean them nicely, and then I wrap them in a towel. I do this with all shrimp, and it keeps, and crab, parts of crab, because it keeps it nice and no juicy stuff sticking out, you know. Okay, so now on each one in the middle, I want a nice amount of shrimp right down the middle, just like that. Okay, now on one side, on the two sides of this, I'm going to use the tomato like this and make a little row of red to make them very attractive. And you know, some of this juice from the tomato will run down into there too. And you can see that I'm accumulating a nice amount of juice down in here. So this is going to be like that, and a little one right here.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Those look good.
And then this one, have a little tomato on each side. Because what I think, the reason I wanted that, I want to give this shrimp a little salt and pepper, you know?
Uh-huh.
I think that would be a good idea. We're going to have the dressing over it, but this is probably good to, okay, now, that's good. A little bit of that on each one. And now, I'm going to pour, what I'll do right now is pour some of this in there. Because normally I would be doing the 4 and they would be used up. So I'm just going to pour a little of this juice in here. Whoop. Get in there. To add that little bit of delicious tomato to this dressing. Okay, now we have this.
Grab those.
Thanks. Thanks, Mark. Careful of your hands.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now some wonderful corn on this side. And now this will be just about enough if you're going to do 4 of them. You can see that this will work beautifully for 4. Yum.
That looks yum.
So we'll put that on this side. And then on this side, we're going to put some of the zucchini. Is it looking good enough to eat?
Pretty close.
Okay. Okay. There's one. And I think it makes a nice presentation for your guests, don't you?
It does.
Should be nice. And I'm picturing it as just a real nice luncheon dish. Okay, now let's just put a little salt over the top of this, particularly here and these. And there, and these. And then a little bit of pepper. Okay. I can take that for now. We're going to make some more anyway for the guys, so we'll have it handy. Now, we have blue cheese, crumbled blue cheese. Nice crumbled blue cheese. Nice, generously. Instead of doing it in a row, you know, the way the original one is, I think this is just nice over the top. You can, of course, choose to do anything you want, but I kind of think this works.
I agree with you.
And everything's going to get mushed in there anyway when you start eating it. And then I have, right here, some scallions. And I'm just going to do a little bit of that to go on the top. I want, where's my, here, this one will work. I got this, this is fine. So I'm just going to put a little bit, I think maybe just a little onion in there. Might not be a bad idea, so maybe just put a little bit of scallion over the top. And I want to put a little green too. So you can have all this done ahead of time so you're ready. Now let's see, this will give us a little color. Okay, just a little bit of this on the top, huh? Okay, I think that's nice, don't you? All right, and so there's a couple of those salads ready to be served. And then I think so, that'd be great, thanks. Now let me get some of this out of the way. And they're gonna be served with a little, cute little, thanks. And then, let's finish getting the dessert organized and we may as well make one, huh?
Okay.
Now, what we're gonna do on the top of this is, we're gonna put, I'm sure some of you have seen this and some of you have not. This is my whipped creamer. Thank you. This is my whipped creamer, and I'm using heavy whipping cream. Make sure it's clean, yeah. I always wash them in the dishwasher and then put it away clean so that it's ready to go. All right, that's in there. Want a little bit of sugar in there. So I'm just going to put maybe a tablespoon. I don't want too much sugar. And I always like a little bit of vanilla.
Ooh.
A tiny bit of vanilla. So you just use vanilla from your cap. A little titch, huh?
Yeah.
Now, I usually take a long wooden spoon and give it a stir. Uh-huh. Yeah, it seems to work very well. I can smell it. It smells
I can smell over here.
Oh, let's see. It's good. Okay. It's enough. It's enough sugar.
And vanilla.
And now, I'm just going to put this on here. This is the thing it squirts out of.
Oh.
So you get that in place. And then you take one of these cartridges. That's a cartridge that you buy, you know, and then you put that on the cartridge on there. And you can hear it when it.
Okay. It's ready.
And then let it settle. And then I'm going to shake it just before I use it, and then I'll test it just before I use it to make sure that it's
Okay.
that it's okay.
That's
All
your
right.
job because I don't know how to do that.
Okay. All right. Now here are our delicious peaches
Ooh.
that have brown sugar, and I want to put some mint in there. I thought we'll take and snip a little mint in. Doesn't that sound good? We'll just put a little
Have
bit.
you ever tried the chocolate flavored mint?
Don't you love? Oh, I
have,
love that.
yeah.
Oh, do you have it?
Yes, I do. Would you like some?
I would. Would you give me a start?
I will.
Oh, thank you. That's the perfect thing. I would love it. All
That's
right.
yummy.
So here we go. Now we're going to, on each plate, I'm going to take Sara Lee.
Good.
Frozen,
Sara Lee.
you know, nothing to it. You just buy it in the freezer. And in there, I'm going to cut a piece for each serving of dessert.
Okay.
And you can, if you feel so inclined, I need a knife, just 1 minute. If you feel so inclined, you could heat it or not, whatever you choose. I'm going to get rid of the end. So for each serving, I would put a piece on the plate. And then over that, we'll do this, a little bit of this delicious peaches. Peaches. Now then,
Now the cream.
let's hope that this little devil has worked. I do it a few times, and then I'll just do it right on here. I usually just try it in the sink. Oh, here, this is perfect. I'll do it in here. So I'll try it right in here. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so there we are. That's out of the way. We're going to put a little bit of this on the top, and then a little touch of mint, huh? A little bit of mint,
Beautiful.
and that's our dessert. I think that looks pretty good. And then let's see how these are. Now with these, this would be for you, Myra. And I'm going to pour.
Get to taste again.
You get to taste. And I'm going to pour see, I thought we'd use just, each person then could dress their own. So
Right.
I'm going to put a little bit in here.
Okay.
And what you can do is just kind of stir it up and put as much as you think you would like
Okay.
on there. And I'll give you this and this. Okay. See.
Sorry.
It's okay? All right.
It's okay.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
The big taste.
And the big taste.
The big taste.
Big taste right now. And then let me pour some wine while you're having the big
Okay.
taste.
And I'm
All
going
right.
to do the big taste.
Okay.
Carol.
Is it good, really?
You did it again.
Thank goodness. Whew. I just don't know if I hate competing with myself.
You're doing a good job.
It becomes a hell of a problem. No, okay. All right. Here we are. To Myra,
Cheers.
to life,
To Carol.
to that smoke clearing out of here.
Right. And to another one down.
So long.